afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4. Another warm one out there, Susan.
That's right. Warm and humid outside, and maybe a little rain is on the way. We'll get an update on that in just a little bit.
But first, here's what's making news on this Thursday. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled against the Trump administration for the second time this week. We'll have more from Washington.
And some Madison city leaders are calling for the city to declare racism an epidemic. But does that declaration carry any weight? We'll talk about it.
And as Wisconsin's economy continues to reopen, the state is seeing its largest single-day increase of positive cases in weeks. Let's take a look outside on this Thursday. There's some green out there, that's for sure. Storm chances creeping in. Chris is in the backyard. Kind of humid, getting a little more humid as the days go along.
Yes, that is indeed true. And that humidity creeps up tonight and into tomorrow as well. That's going to act as a little bit of fuel for some of those shower and thunderstorm chances. This is later on tonight. We do have a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in that forecast. But then Friday, especially in the afternoon, we'll see off and on showers and storms. And Saturday itself, we'll likely see widespread showers and thunderstorms, with a lot of the strongest of those targeting southern portions of the state of Wisconsin. Here's how things look right now. Things are absolutely beautiful for us. Temperatures are warm. We're at 85 in Madison right now, 88 as you work your way towards Janesville. Dew points are a lot higher, though, just towards the west. So while we are seeing the humidity out there here in Madison, if you work your way towards La Crosse or southeastern Minnesota, northeastern Iowa, that's where the humidity is certainly a lot stronger. It's clear outside, though. That's one thing that is for sure. But you do see the slow-moving cold front. That's going to bring more rain chances as we go through your weekend. In fact, the weekend forecast looks like this. We're keeping those temperatures warm, but coming up around 4:30, we'll time out some of those rounds of showers and thunderstorms.
All right, Chris, we'll check back in just a little while. Thank you. First at 4, the U.S. Supreme Court has dealt a blow to the Trump administration, ruling against its attempts to end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA.
For now, more than 600,000 young migrants will keep their temporary protective status. Chief Justice John Roberts joined the court's 4 liberal justices in the 5-4 decision, writing, "We do not decide whether DACA or its recessions are sound policies. We address only whether the agency complied with the procedural requirement that it provided a reasoned explanation for its action." Republican Senator Marco Rubio says issues like DACA should be decided by Congress, not the courts.
Irrespective of whether the policy conclusion that results from it is something you agree with or not, you have a Supreme Court that appears to be legislating.
Former President Obama created the DACA program by executive order in 2012 after Congress failed to pass immigration reform. The Dane County Board of Supervisors plans to declare racism a public health crisis.
Amy Reed is live downtown to explain how this fits into a greater goal for Dane County. Amy?
The county's first move toward making this declaration is slated for tonight, when the Board of Supervisors is slated to introduce a resolution declaring racism a public health crisis. This is mostly a symbolic move. It does not come with funding, but the county is planning on taking action over the next few years to implement what their task forces have shown. I spoke with the board chair today, and she said there are improvements in policy and action the county can make, and there is a willingness on the board to do it. This action tonight, she says, shows that.
This is just another piece of the broader puzzle of something that we can do right now. We can make this declaration, and it is on us to live up to this declaration.
The resolution can't be formally adopted until the board's next meeting, but the work is starting now. Eicher said the board is coming up with plans for 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, what they can be doing to combat racism. I'll explain more about their initiatives tonight at 6.
We will see you then. Thank you, Amy. New at 4, Joe Biden will formally accept the Democratic presidential nomination in Milwaukee in August, despite the ongoing pandemic. The Democrats Democratic National Convention is scheduled to take place in Milwaukee in August, but officials say it will be scaled back compared to traditional conventions. The former vice president will accept the nomination on the final night of the convention, August 20th. Several people working with the Biden campaign have confirmed that while the event will largely be virtual, they're working to create programming each night that will be carried by the major TV networks.
While the percent of positive COVID-19 cases in Milwaukee County is going down, the state has seen the largest increase in weeks. The percentage of positive cases within the last 24 hours went up to around 4% after dipping below 3% for the last several days. Nearly 24,000 people in the state have tested positive for the virus since the beginning of the outbreak. More than 720 people have died. Coronavirus cases continue to rise in more than 20 states across the South and the West.
Some are also seeing sharp spikes in hospitalizations. Nichelle Medina reports from San Diego.
More than 4,000 people in California tested positive for coronavirus Wednesday, according to data compiled by San Francisco's Chronicle newspaper. That's a new record for the state that's mostly now open for indoor dining, gyms, and hotels. Some businesses have decided it's too soon to open up.
Rolling, speeding, and action.
That includes the CBS daytime drama The Bold and the Beautiful. After one day back on set, the show's producer decided to stop shooting and allow for more testing. In the city of Claremont, Troy's family restaurant opened, but then closed their doors for good.
We thought we saw a light at the end of the tunnel, but it turned out that was a train.
Florida also posted new high numbers, over 3,000 cases in one day. Masks are now mandatory in the Florida Keys, where there are few hospitals. Cases are also rising in Texas, but authorities there announced students will return to their campuses for in-person classes this fall, and masks will not be required.
We all expected to see more cases. What I think has everybody concerned is how rapidly they're increasing.
North Carolina health officials announced more than 800 people are hospitalized, and the state continues to set one-day hospitalization highs. In Arizona, where cases are on a steep incline, the governor gave the green light to local officials to make masks mandatory. United Airlines is also ramping up its mask policy. Any passenger who refuses to wear one throughout the flight will not be able to travel with United. Most airlines require masks, but haven't revealed punishment for customers who don't comply. President Trump vowed, regardless of spikes, the country will not shut down again.
It's fading away. It's going to fade away, but having a vaccine would be really nice, and that's going to happen.
New York's governor slammed the federal government's handling of the pandemic.
It was all political. It was all public relations. Based on what fact? Based on what science? None.
Governor Andrew Cuomo also issued an executive order. Restaurants and bars that violate guidelines can have their alcohol license suspended. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, San Diego.
The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission issued some guidance saying that employers can require workers to be tested for COVID-19. It can require them to wear masks and temperature check them without violating federal law. But employers cannot require coronavirus antibody testing. Many of us have a lot of questions about an eventual COVID vaccine.
Doctors say that because they are compressing the 12-year period it would normally take for a vaccine to become available into 12 months, they are cutting a lot of corners. Jamie Perez explains what that could mean for all of us when a vaccine does become available. Jamie.
Yeah, so because this process is sped up so much, just like you said, they're cutting corners on all of these safety trials that would normally have been done in those 12 months, which means that even when a vaccine becomes available, it might still not be safe for everyone to take it. So priority will be given to the elderly and those with pre-existing medical conditions. The president and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin said a certain number of people have to get the vaccine in order to keep everyone safe.
Most epidemiologists are estimating that 70 to 80% of people need to have immunity from COVID-19 for there to be effective herd immunity. And we still don't know for certain whether COVID-19 antibodies, whether from previous infection or from a vaccination, confer long-term protection from a secondary infection.
So there will obviously still be a lot of unknowns even when that vaccine does become available, and it's going to be up to public health to decide if the vaccine will be a requirement for kids to go back to school or daycare, of course, if the vaccine is even safe enough for kids to take. Now, aside from these safety concerns, medical experts also say there's probably going to be a shortage of the vaccine when it becomes available. We'll look into that a little bit more coming up tonight at 6.
We'll see you then. Jamie Perez, thank you. The Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development reports that the state's unemployment rate dropped to 12% in May, but the pandemic continues to claim jobs even as shops and offices resume businesses. But even as millions rejoin the workforce, others are joining the ranks of the unemployed. AT&T is the latest major corporation to announce layoffs. The company plans to close 250 stores and cut more than 3,400 jobs. Last week, 1.5 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits, a number slightly higher than expected, but the downward trend in claims since March continues.
There is a picture that is emerging that the economy probably bottomed in April and is now recovering. Where we go next, that's sort of uncertain, and how long this takes, also uncertain.
State agencies across the nation remain understaffed and overwhelmed with a backlog of applications. In Frankfort, Kentucky, people stood in line for hours at an unemployment office trying to get some answers. Those numbers, along with those rising COVID-19 cases, had stocks mixed on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials lost 39 points, closing at 26,080. The NASDAQ, however, added 32, and the S&P 500 was up almost 2.
Madison's Overture Center for the Arts will cut staff and furlough more than half of its workforce because of the pandemic. An announcement from the organization this morning said 60% of employees will be affected. Some employees have been furloughed, laid off, or have had their hours reduced. Some positions have been eliminated altogether. Officials say the pandemic has seriously affected the Overture Center financially, and the impact could be in the millions. Well, it may not be business as usual, but the Wisconsin Union Memorial Terrace is trying to make a comeback.
Finally, some good news. Representatives with the union say they're ready to begin a phased reopening. UW-Madison students, staff, faculty, Wisconsin Union members, members of the Alumni Association, and active duty U.S. service members will be able to make an hour-and-a-half-long reservations for a dining area. Others can buy a $5 day pass to make reservations. In the initial phase, the terrace will operate at no more than 25% capacity. Seating will be reserved through the Open Table website, and food and beverages can be ordered via Grubhub. There's more information about the reopening on our website, channel3000.com. Well, still to come at 4, no baby is born a racist.
And now there's a new book out. It's called Anti-Racist Baby. We'll hear from the author about the message that he wants passed down to a new generation. That's when Live at 4 continues. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
At Mounds Pet Food Warehouse, we know that no two pets are the same. That's why each of our 5 southern Wisconsin locations is wall-to-wall with everything you and your pet need, including dog food, cat food, pet beds, thousands of toys, treats, and chews, and supplies for your small animals, birds, and reptiles, too. With so many options, finding what you need is easy. You gotta get down to Mounds and see for yourself. Mounds Pet Food Warehouse powers them all. And don't forget your free Mounds candy bar.
Managing type 2 diabetes? You're on it. Exercising often and eating healthy? Yep, on it there too. You may think you're doing all you can to manage type 2 diabetes and heart disease, but could your medication do more to lower your heart risk? Jardiance can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease, so it could help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. And it lowers A1C.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack?
On it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
When you think of a bank, you think of people in a place. But when you have the Chase mobile app, your bank can be virtually any place. So when you get a check, you can deposit it from here. and you can see your transactions and check your balance from here. You can detect suspicious activity on your account from here, and you can pay your friends back from here. So when someone asks you, where's your bank? You can tell them, here's my bank, or here's my bank, or here's my bank. Because if you download and use the Chase mobile app, your bank is virtually any place. So visit chase.com/mobile.
When America needed us to build, we built. Masks, ventilators, shields. When frontliners needed support, Ford dealers answered. And now we're open and ready to serve you. With special offers like 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Stop by a Ford dealership or go online. We've made it safer to shop, easier to buy. Now get 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Contact your Ford dealer or stop by today.
Hi, I'm Brian from McGann Furniture in Baraboo. We know that hardworking people want the most value for their money. When you shop at McGann's, we've already sorted out and selected the brands that we feel offer you the most bang for your buck. From young couples just starting out to people my age, we offer a huge selection at prices that will fit your budget. Plus, most purchases include free delivery and setup. Shop McGann Furniture in downtown Baraboo. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back. While hospitals continue to tackle the coronavirus outbreak, researchers are using new technology to make testing safer for frontline workers.
Scientists in Denmark say they have developed the world's first fully automatic robot. Here we go again, Mark, another robot story. This one uses artificial intelligence and cameras to find the right part of your throat and swallow. Mark is cringing. Once completed, the robot tags and seals the swab after it gently scrapes the part of your throat that it needs to see. And then researchers say it not only keeps healthcare workers safe, it also maintains the quality of the samples.
We see a high demand right now for safe testing during the COVID-19 pandemic around the world, says the company's CEO, adding, so we hope to make our robots available to everyone.
In Egypt, a scientist also developed a COVID-fighting robot. The developer says it not only swabs for COVID-19, it can take temperatures and it can advise people on proper health care.
Mr. Roboto.
Every day we've had a story like that. It's a brave new world. Well, as Americans become aware of the painful realities of racism, a new book aims to help the next generation understand it.
Author and CBS News contributor Ibram X. Kendi has a 4-year-old daughter of his own, and he says it's never too soon to start having those conversations. Jerika Duncan shows us his new book, Anti-Racist Baby.
And I would argue we have metastatic racism. The term mulatto is a racist slur.
For the last several years,
the ask is building an anti-racist America.
Ibram X. Kendi has been schooling a nation on how to be an anti-racist, the title of his book published in 2019. Recently, he's taking on a new audience, children, through a new book called Anti-Racist Baby.
Where did that idea come from? Obviously, you have a 4-year-old daughter.
I mean, it came from a desire to produce a book that I could read to her that can sort of serve as a springboard for us to have conversations about race and racism and about how to be anti-racist. The earlier we teach them how to be anti-racist, the better. We have studies that show that babies or even toddlers at 2 years tend to discern people's behaviors based on their race. We also know that 2 to 3-year-olds tend to choose their playmates based on their race.
The book outlines 9 easy ways we can teach children to be anti-racist.
What number? 1. Open your eyes to all skin colors.
Anti-Racist Baby learns all the colors, not because race is true.
If you claim to be colorblind, you deny what's right in front of you, Imani.
We read the book to our own children, ages 4 and 6.
Number 4, shout, there's nothing wrong with the people.
Even though all races are not treated the same,
we are all human, Anti-Racist Baby can proclaim.
Imani, what's your favorite part of the book?
Me.
She said me. So you on the cover?
She's very honest. What's your favorite part of the book?
My favorite part of the book is shout, there's nothing wrong with the people. We're all people in America who come from different places. And just because we come from different places doesn't mean that you get to make fun of somebody. We're all equal.
There's nothing to me more heart-rendering, more inspiring, more moving to hear a young child express anti-racist ideas.
Those ideas are seeping into the consciousness of America. The top books on the New York Times bestsellers list have to do with racism and African American culture. What does that say to you about what we're seeing and what is happening?
I think one of the things it tells me is that the demonstrations have been effective. I see a direct connection between the demonstrations and so many people turning to books to hopefully learn about racism and even begin to change themselves as they join the effort to change society.
For Kendi, the solution starts with children. They are watching, learning, and will be next to write the chapters that mark defining moments in history. Next month, Kendi will become a history professor at Boston University, and he will become the university's first ever founding director for the Center for Anti-Racist Research. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
I understand that book is back-ordered.
Is it?
It's hugely popular. That's a must-read.
Yeah, that was a great idea, and it was great to share it with their kids, too. That was nice to see.
Oh, very powerful. Well, you had ahead at 4. Your next hotel stay may be a different experience than what you're used to.
We'll find out what hotels may look like as the pandemic slowly eases in some parts of the world. That's coming up after Chris's First Warn forecast. We'll be right back.
You could call the celebrity lifestyle a bit excessive. But what do you call an SUV roomy enough for these good boys? And the ones in the back.
Sometimes distance isn't the only barrier between you, your friends, and your loved ones, which is why TDS works tirelessly to provide you with the fastest, most reliable internet so you can stay strong, stay connected, and keep your world together. TDS, the best internet for how we live.
We've got the power.
The Power Centers of Madison. Our highly trained service department has the power to keep your equipment running like new. We service all makes and models, from minor tune-ups and maintenance to major overhauls. Our certified mechanics can get your equipment up and running quickly. If you like to fix it yourself, between the 2 stores, we have the parts you need. At the Power Centers of Madison.
They say life is all about making choices. Well, I didn't choose metastatic breast cancer.
And you're back with #1 best-selling author.
Not the exact type.
Her book, The Ken in Cancer.
Not the specific mutation. But I did pick hope. And also clarity. By knowing I have a treatment that goes right at it.
Discover Piqray, the first and only treatment that specifically targets PIK3CA mutations in HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC, which are common and linked to cancer growth. Piqray is taken with fulvestrant after progression on hormone therapy and has been proven to help people with a PIK3CA mutation live longer without disease progression. Do not take Piqray if you've had a severe allergic reaction to it or to any of its ingredients. Piqray can cause serious side effects, including severe allergic and skin reactions, high blood sugar levels and diarrhea that are common and can be severe, and lung problems known as pneumonitis. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms of severe allergic reactions or high blood sugar while taking Piqray. Your doctor will monitor your blood sugar before you start and during treatment, and may monitor more often if you have a history of type 2 diabetes. Before starting, tell your doctor if you have a history of diabetes, skin reactions, are pregnant, breastfeeding, or plan to become pregnant. Common side effects include rash, nausea, tiredness and weakness, decreased appetite, mouth sores, vomiting, weight loss, hair loss, and changes in certain blood tests. If you've progressed on hormone therapy and have a PIK3CA mutation, ask your doctor about Piqray.
Take a look at this. Gymnast Simone Biles is practicing a new skill. This dismount includes a triple twisting double back. The trick takes less time to perform than to say. The most decorated American gymnast ever continues to practice, even though the 2020 Summer Olympics are postponed until next year. But she says this triple twisting double back will not be in her routine. But it sure is fun to watch, isn't it?
She is. Look at that. Amazing. Wow.
I'd be in the hospital.
She doesn't even need the foam. Yeah.
Wow. All right, Chris, after you.
All right, sure. You know, as a Houston native, just like her, I'm sure I've got that skill somewhere.
Somewhere in there.
All right. I'm better at forecasting the weather than I am doing that, so that's what I'm going to do here in just a few minutes. We're already tracking showers and thunderstorms in store for the Father's Day weekend. Your forecast is next.
Now, a WISC-TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinen.
Like so much of life in our world in these times, this year's Juneteenth celebration is like none other. Madison has always done Juneteenth upright. It's been recognized nationally for its celebration of the day the last slaves in America were officially told they were free. We hardly need to say what this celebration means this year. For the most part, the traditional Juneteenth events have been taking place virtually this week with panel discussions, music and spoken word performances, arts classes, dance and online cooking demonstrations, and meal deliveries. But replacing the usual day-long party Friday is a rally from noon to 7 at Olin Park. It's a continuation of the Black Lives Matter protests and the pivot from freedoms and rights in words to justice in action. And in that context, we celebrate Juneteenth Day 2020 as another element of the movement that is here and the justice and equity to come.
Welcome to the beautiful Hinchley Dairy Farm and one of my favorite dairy farmers of all time, Miss Tina Hinchley. It's so good to be out here and celebrating June Dairy Month with you.
I am so thrilled to have this opportunity to share my farm with all of your viewers.
You and your husband took over the farm in 2000 from your in-laws.
Right.
Kind of take us through the journey of what has changed since that time.
We grew a little bit, bits and pieces, just a couple cows at a time. And as we got to the point where our kids were all in college, one of them decided that she wanted to come back to the farm, but she didn't want to be milking cows 9 hours a day. And we looked at technology. We're using technology as it is right now in planting and harvesting, but now we're using it by having our cows milked robotically.
I think this is so cool, and we're going to get to see that. But so the cows actually decide when they want to be milked. How nice is that?
Oh, it's amazing. And it definitely certifies the fact that cows love to be milked. When they go in 5 and 6 times a day, we have got a couple cows that are doing 18 and 19 gallons a day.
Wow.
So their bodies are saying, milk me, and they're able to go in and get milked.
So much to learn June Dairy Month, but if they can just take away one thing, it's what to look for in the grocery store. So pull out your prop.
As you go to the grocery store and you're looking for a way to help Wisconsin dairy farmers, look for this badge. This is going to tell you that this cheese is coming from our amazing cows in Wisconsin, and that's going to support the farmers out here.
Thank you for what you do. For every person out there who drinks the milk and eats the cheese, we thank you.
Oh,
it was lovely to see you.
So much for sharing this with everybody.
I'm Emmy Fink, and you heard it here. You are buzzed into Madison.
These are extraordinary times, and we want to thank the extraordinary people in the healthcare community working to care for all of us. At Novartis, we promise to do our part. As always, we're doing everything we can to help keep Cosentyx accessible and affordable. If you have any questions at all, call us, email us, visit us online. We're here to help support you when you need us. Take care and be well. To learn more, call 1-844-COSENTYX or visit Cosentyx.com.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Father's Day is coming up, and this right here is the focus. What's on the top of a lot of minds is the forecast as we move into this weekend. I'll go ahead and tell you, we're going to be watching those shower and thunderstorm chances, and some of those could have some heavy downpours. While I'm not expecting a washout of a weekend, the chance will be there just about each and every single day. Here's the setup right now. We have this cold front back towards the north and west. Out ahead of that, we've been under the influence of this truly warm southwesterly flow. That's going to help bring in some of that instability and the moisture that's going to be needed to keep those shower and thunderstorm chances around as we move into the weekend. This is into Friday morning. Notice how west of Madison, you have the best chance to see some of those showers and thunderstorms, but tomorrow afternoon, we'll watch those chances begin to increase for us, and then especially into Saturday. This area of low pressure, that continues to work its way northward, and that will bring the more widespread chances of showers and thunderstorms pretty much throughout the day. On Saturday, that's when some of those could be at their strongest as well. This is tonight. The shower chance is going to be there mainly north and west of Madison, but around Friday afternoon, we'll see the off and on thunderstorms. This is Saturday. The further south you are, the stronger those thunderstorms are likely to be. You see this dark green shading here? That's about Madison and points towards the south. That is the marginal level 1 out of 5 risk for some of the stronger thunderstorms there. Timing it out for you, we're in the 80s this afternoon. Let's push you into the overnight hours. Temperatures drop into the lower 60s. Now, this is 11 a.m. tomorrow. Temperatures are in the low 80s. Here are the shower chances, though, on the increase into tomorrow afternoon and evening. And then throughout Saturday, we really start to see this become more widespread, especially into Saturday afternoon. But notice it wasn't this huge blob of moisture there. Instead, it is just the isolated showers and thunderstorms that pop up at times. We'll watch that very closely, but nonetheless, temperatures are staying very summer-like throughout that extended forecast. Rain chances into Monday as well. A slight rain chance on Tuesday. We're watching Wednesday also. Temperatures, though, by next week could cool down into the upper 70s for some of those days.
After summer starts on Saturday.
Absolutely. Right. That's how we do it here.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
If you plan to travel this summer, you can expect major changes at hotels, including plexiglass barriers and no more buffets.
As states lift restrictions, hotel occupancy rates are inching up. Chris Van Cleve has the story.
This is the new normal in hotels nationwide. Marlon Castrillo spends an extra 10 minutes in each room at the Bethesda, Maryland Marriott. Cleaning starts with this electrostatic fogger and its hospital-grade disinfecting mist.
This is a little bit of time-consuming, but we want to make sure that every guest that walks through the door feels comfortable.
Once the room is made up and clean, key touch points, light switches, thermostat, the remote control are again wiped down. With only about 11% occupancy at the hotel, rooms sit empty for at least 48 hours.
We've looked at every aspect of the operation of a hotel.
Marriott CEO Arnie Sorensen.
What's the new normal? The public space is going to be less busy. Our associates wearing masks, guests that are more likely to want to be in their room.
Throw pillows and magazines are gone from the rooms. In public spaces, you'll see signs reminding people to distance and plexiglass barriers at the check-in counter and at the hotel bar. This Marriott is testing a UV sanitizer for room keys and encouraging the use of an app-based digital key. Seating in the restaurant is limited. Same goes for the pool. And gone, for now, is the buffet, replaced by individually packaged grab-and-go.
Hotel gyms are going to change, too. The exercise bikes separated by plexiglass. And if you want to get on an elliptical or a treadmill, watch the signs, because you can only use every other machine.
We know that guests believe quite reasonably that they can control their interactions with people in a hotel. Once you've gotten into your guest room, you are in your own space. And so the challenge for us is one we think we can meet, which is, can we deliver a room that the guests can have confidence is clean?
This month, Hilton is teaming with the Mayo Clinic and Lysol to roll out its Clean Stay, which, like Marriott, is focused on wiping down touch points. They'll mark cleaned rooms with these stickers sealing the door. Sandals and Beaches resorts are also using the foggers. focusing on cleaning 18 common touch points throughout the hotel and using UV LED lights to inspect guest rooms for cleanliness. 64% of travelers in a recent survey said improved cleaning practices will significantly impact their decision to stay at a hotel.
Whether you're an airline or a hotel, you're now building your brand on how well you clean.
It's what people care about right now. Cleanliness, sanitation, hygiene. These are rebuilding blocks for the hotels as they rebuild confidence among consumers to stay with them.
People like Yosef Asafa, who came from LA to visit his mother.
Did you have any worry about staying at a hotel?
No, I didn't. I would also assume that people are not really coming to the hotels or traveling as much.
Marriott says bookings are still down 70 to 75%, but are improving week over week. The company expects recovery will take 2 to 3 years. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
All due to a virus.
Every little bit helps.
It does. All right, we'll be right back with Dr. Zorba. He'll be taking your phone calls, so start thinking up questions for him. We'll be right back.
At Pick and Save, we always do our very best to make sure we've got you covered. Restocking our shelves with help from one of the country's biggest supply chains. And we'll continue to bring our A game to get you what you need when you need it most. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
This summer, get back to where you belong, along 60 miles of beautiful wide-open beaches, where family vacations have never been so much fun. With every sunrise and each high tide, the beach is calling you to raise your spirits, make you smile, and bring your family closer together. So stop dreaming and start booking, because we can't wait for you to get here. Visit Myrtle Beach and discover why happiness comes in waves.
So if we're going to spend a third of our lives sleeping, shouldn't we try to get the best sleep possible? That's why Denver Mattress is all about that sleep life. And during the epic summer sale, save $100 on our Athlete's Choice lineup. Any size, any model. Check out the Queen Size Summit Firm, only $189.99. Or purchase a Tempur-Pedic and get a $300 Furniture Row gift certificate, plus 5 years, no interest. And score free local delivery. Denver Mattress, the easiest way to get the right mattress.
Now I get to make a difference in people's lives the way that the nurses that took care of my grandma made a difference in her life.
Now is the time to change your life. Herzing University makes it possible without leaving home. Herzing offers dozens of online degrees in nursing, healthcare, IT, and business. Start studying online and take the first step toward a new career.
I'm an ICU nurse.
I'm possible at Herzing.
Attention small business owners. Wright & Schulte LLC is currently investigating claims against several insurance companies that may have wrongfully denied business interruption coverage during the coronavirus crisis. If your business is insured by Society, Auto Owners, Erie Insurance, or Germantown Mutual and your claim was denied, or if you have not yet made a claim, you may be entitled to money damages. Call the number on your screen or visit wsclaim.com for a free case evaluation to understand your legal rights.
Ahead at 5, protesters are headed to Governor Evers' mansion to demand prison reform in light of COVID. We'll share the latest tonight at 5.
Increasing humidity and warm temperatures will lead to chances of showers and thunderstorms from tomorrow afternoon through the weekend. My first warn forecast at 5.
And ahead at 6, Dane County launches a program to help first responders have easier access to COVID-19 tests. We'll share that story with you coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
That a beautiful shot. Look
That's
at
the
that.
place to be right now.
That's where we wish we were on a Thursday afternoon. It's a great shot over the lake and Picnic Point. Let's just savor that for a moment, shall we?
Just run this for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we have important things to do.
Moving on, it's time for our weekly coronavirus check-in with Dr. Zorba Pastor.
Dr. Zorba Pastor will be taking your questions in the next segment. He joins us from his office in Oregon. Welcome back.
Hi, Zorba. Good to see you.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
Let's talk about antibodies. There's some concern that they might only last for a couple months.
Right. There's a very small study, not a big study, and remember this is science and evolution, that seemed to show that people who were not symptomatic, but we have good research that shows they did have coronavirus, they did have COVID, had antibodies that appeared to disappear after 2 months, 2 or 3 months. Now, in some ways, you may look at this and say, this is really bad, it's not going to be a good thing, it's going to be a problem. But if you look at influenza, every year we get an influenza shot because the antibodies tend to disappear. And sometimes during a bad season, we might even get a second shot. So it shows you when we're developing the vaccine, and vaccines are coming along on the horizon, we do not have a workable vaccine now. We've got to get one that's robust enough to last, but it may be just like influenza. It might be you'll have to get your corona shot every year. I do believe that when the corona vaccine comes out, many people who didn't even get the influenza vaccine are going to get the corona shot. Yeah. So.
Do you recommend that people get the antibody test? I know we've been talking a lot about how, what's the word?
Effective.
Effective it is, yeah, and that there's a lot of false, sometimes it's not always accurate.
False positives, false negatives. So the false positive says, hey, you have antibodies, you don't really have them. And the false negative says, hey, you don't have antibodies and you really do have them. So the problem is the test is maybe 85% at most really reliable. Depends on which test you're doing, but unless you're in a totally research institution where 2 or 3 tests are being done, it's nowhere near the 90 or 95% range. The second thing is, but now that we know that the antibodies may tend to disappear, what does it mean if you have antibodies in the first place? It may not mean anything at all. So my thought is, antibody tests really do not have a place yet unless you're actually doing something. You're actually sick, you're ill, in which case they really do mean something. But if you have no symptoms, you haven't been really sick, I think it's pretty much a worthless test and may give you a false sense of security. So you don't wear a mask. You go, oh, I don't need a mask because I don't need one, and that's something, of course, we really all should be doing.
270-9933, the number to call to talk to Zorba. We'll get to your calls. Florida's farm workers, they hit very hard by this, and now they're moving north for the harvest up here. What's concerns there?
Right. Well, it's a concern because that's basically how, in the 1918 pandemic, it was basically fed by the GIs coming home. And when we look at farm workers moving around the country, once again, just like meat packers, they tend to be in congregate settings. They're working close hand by hand. So if one person has COVID, other people may have COVID too. And I think as we see farm workers coming up in Wisconsin, going north, we might see outbreaks of COVID where they are, simply because they may have somebody in their midst who actually has it. And that means they really have to try to do a better job in the congregate setting where they're actually living. And to actually do that is not going to be easy because, as we know, the facilities that they live in are not what you would call up to date. They're certainly not the Fairfield Hotel by Marriott by any means, and that's really the issue. But trying to keep it clean, wearing masks when they're in the setting, putting up plexiglass, that may help. It all makes a difference. All of it matters, but social distancing is the most important thing.
All right, 270-9933, the number to call. We'll get to your calls right after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome to the beautiful Bruce Company. It's good to see you, Miss Lisa
We
Briggs.
have missed you, Emmy Fink.
I have missed you. Who wants a little backyard bliss in their life? Me. I do.
I do as well.
All right, so
a lot of
fill
stuff
us
is going
in.
on.
Yes.
And so a lot of people are staying home, maybe having a little vacay this year.
Stay-K.
There you go. And so with Father's Day coming up and 4th of July, it's the height of backyard barbecuing, and so we thought we'd talk about some Weber grills.
Now, you know, Lisa has all the stats and analytics on this, but talk us through this beautiful baby.
So this is a Weber Genesis 2 SE410.
Yeah, I like when you talk grill to me.
So that means it's got 4 burners, and the SE means that it is an enamel finish.
Okay.
This is a LP, which means it comes with a propane tank.
Nice.
Stainless steel grates.
It's beautiful.
X4 burners. It's great, and for right now, while supplies last, it is $150 off. So it goes from $949 to $799, and you get free setup and delivery in Dane County.
It's a beautiful thing. Don't wait any longer because right now is grilling season.
That's right.
And there's a lot of great accessories that can go with this as well.
Yes, you can get pizza stones, you can get baskets for fish, you can get little griddles for fruit and veg. What's your favorite thing to grill, Emmy?
Vegetables, like a medley. I do like cauliflower and broccoli and peppers and onions and throw a little like marinade on it.
Yeah.
Let them go.
We smoke a mean brisket at
Ooh, well, there you go.
We're gonna go. Vegetarian neighbors are excited when we do it.
We're gonna go to the backyard bliss at the Briggs. You know I want to hug you, but we just can't. Elbows up, babe.
Elbows up.
I'm Emmy Fink.
And I'm Lisa Briggs.
And you are
buzzed into Madison.
That's right. Grill, baby, grill.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto. Novartis thanks the heroic healthcare workers fighting COVID-19.
Well, good Thursday afternoon, folks. Here's the latest in terms of traffic for you behind me. This is the Beltline and Fish Hatchery. We're seeing the car volume out there, but things are all moving along smoothly. For the most part, everything is green on the Beltline. A little spot where you might be tapping the brakes. That's right as you begin to approach Fish Hatchery. Otherwise, most speeds are right around that 50 to 60 mile per hour range. Average is 55. That's the Beltline speed limit. Downtown, we are seeing at least a couple slowdowns, especially on Johnson, right where it starts to become Gorham, headed towards the Capitol Square there. But so far, no major issues. All routes are cruising along at their posted speeds with no crashes or delays.
All right, Chris, thank you. Ever since COVID-19 reached Cuba, a tall cardboard box with arms and legs can be seen tottering around a Havana suburb, popping into bakeries or the butcher. Inside is 82-year-old Farida Rojas, who decided to wear mobile housing to shield herself from the virus that is particularly deadly to seniors in a country where personal protective equipment is not sold in stores. The message on the box says, "I am at home. What about you?" It's a witty nod to Cuba's coronavirus slogan, "Stay at home." While her mobile home may be less necessary as Cuba's outbreak appears to have come under control, Rojas says it still provides some necessary comic relief. Home is where the heart is. Dr. Zorba Pastor taking your medical questions live.
If you have a question, the number to call, 270-9933. Welcome back, Zorba. Let's get to the calls. The phones are jammed, and we'll start with Kathy in Middleton. Hi, Kathy. What's your question?
Hi. My question is, how long do you stay asymptomatic? How long can you pass it? How long can you have it and pass it on to others?
14 days. That's it. That's the number. That's the magic number, according to Dr. Fauci, and that's the number we stick with, 14 days.
Okay. John in Madison. Hi, John.
Hi.
What's your
My question is, on World News, they show them spraying down the sidewalks. I'm curious as to what degree this virus is around us. I get out of my car and I walk into the store. I think there's no one around me. Do I have the mask on? And I'm curious about why they show them being so antiseptic about things, and if that is that big of a problem now, we're just not aware of it. What your comment is on that? Thank you.
We're not actually sure exactly how much of a problem it is outside, in terms of spraying things down. But I think where you see the spraying is in areas where it's really, really, a major problem. New York City, Madrid, Spain, other areas which are hotspots. They're spraying it down. Now, how much it actually works, I've not seen any studies yet that show exactly how much it makes a difference. We do believe that wiping down surfaces make a difference, and that's why when you go in a store, when I went to buy, for instance, flowers the other day, they wiped down the counter after I put my hands on it and wiped it down. We think that works. Kind of think of it like good hygiene. After you go to the bathroom, after you go to the toilet, you wipe things down so you don't spread disease. It's the same thing. I'm not sure about the spraying, but they do it in certain areas. We're not doing it around here. I've not seen it in our area.
All right. Speaking of COVID on surfaces, that's Julie's question in Madison. Hi, Julie. Go ahead.
Hi. My question is, we have to be concerned with our hands and touching our face.
What about us people that put on makeup or face creams? Are we reinfecting ourselves with our creams that we stick our hands in and touch our face? How safe are we?
That's a good question.
Excellent question. First of all, you want to wash your hands before you actually put on makeup. You know, that's what you want to do. Before you put on the makeup, you want to wash your hands. If you're concerned, take a wipe and wipe the container with a Clorox wipe or something else, because the container may have it. One theory is that it only lasts for about 2 days at most. At most. Probably lasts for less than that on the surface itself. So if you haven't touched that makeup for a couple of days, the idea was that it would be safe. But that's what it is. Hand cleanliness before you touch your hands, touch your eyes. That's the most important thing that you can do. You can't self-infect yourself. You're going to get the infection from someone else who you may touch or come into close contact with when there are droplets that are spread to you.
All right. Let's go to Chris in Monona. Hi, Chris. Chris, you there?
Yes, this is Chris.
Go ahead.
I want to know the best way to disinfect fresh vegetables when you bring them home from the store, such as tomatoes or celery or cucumbers, zucchini, squash, vegetables, fruits. How can I best disinfect them at home? Can I use white vinegar?
Yeah. Well, no, I would use a little bleach. Wash them in the sink. Go to Google it. I can't tell you exactly how much. Fill up your sink with water or a pail or whatever you want to. Something that's clean. Put a little bit of bleach in. It might be 1 or 2 capfuls. I'm not going to give you the exact amount because I look it up on Google when I do it. Put your veggies in there. Wash them. Then you can wash them off with water because then you won't have the chlorine on it. But basically, chlorinated water is the way to go. Vinegar won't do it.
All right. Interesting. Let's go to Patty in Madison. Hi, Patty. What's your question?
Hi, I was wondering if you can get the virus through like a cut on your hand.
You bet. You can get it through anything, any kind of an opening. So if you shake hands with somebody and you've got a cut in your hand and they have the virus can sneak in there. It goes through mucous membranes. It goes basically through your nose and your eyes. But for the most part, any open cut in your hand can spread the virus. I haven't read specifically that, but it makes sense to me because our skin is basically a barrier. And if we look at open areas, eyes, nose, throat, and such, you can definitely get it through a cut. Yes.
No handshaking.
No handshaking, no.
All right.
Virtual handshaking. Guys go like that. Virtual handshaking.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks for calling, everybody. We're out of time. We'll do this again next week. Zorba, thank you for your time.
Great to see you, Zorba. Thank you so much.
We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.
At Mounds Pet Food Warehouse, we know that no 2 pets are the same. That's why each of our 5 Southern Wisconsin locations is wall-to-wall with everything you and your pet need, including dog food, cat food, pet beds, thousands of toys, treats, and chews, and supplies for your small animals, birds, and reptiles, too. With so many options, finding what you need is easy. You gotta get down to Mounds and see for yourself. Mounds Pet Food Warehouse powers them all. And don't forget your free Mounds candy bar.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I?
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes.
Celebrate this 4th of July knowing you look your best with Plexiderm.
Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
We even have a video, and all he uses is a small amount, and that's how easy it is. And I did this to my father. We were at home. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be fit and take care of yourself. Plexiderm makes you feel as good outside as you do inside. Honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there. Like, the bags are gone.
Not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles.
This 4th of July is the best time to get Plexiderm for $14.95. See it work for yourself? Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
You might want to tune in Friday morning because you might need the umbrella if you take the family out this weekend.
And for the first time ever, a new flag will be flying at the state capitol.
We'll tell you about the Juneteenth celebrations around town and more starting at 4:30.
Madison's not happy treating people differently because of their race.
I've learned when I've been out reporting on the front lines that everyone is impacted differently, but it's also important to take some time to not judge people and to understand where they're coming from and why they might be angry or why they might be sad.
This is our opportunity. You do see the best in some people coming out.
This time feels different.
This time, I think a real conversation may begin.
Folks, we're going to be keeping the sunshine around throughout the rest of the evening. Chances for showers do return as early as Friday morning, with that best chance going to be Friday afternoon throughout Saturday. Sunday, Father's Day, there'll be a chance for showers, but they won't be as widespread as your Saturday. We'll keep that chance around Monday, a break on Tuesday, more storms on Wednesday with a break on Thursday, before more on Friday. This whole pattern is simply unsettled.
It certainly is. All right, Chris, thank you. Tomorrow on Live Before, we'll find out how the Madison Development Corporation is helping small businesses coping with COVID-19.
And the news hounds, Lola and Louie, will have the best animal stories of the week. That's coming up tomorrow on Live at 4.